Thank you, Mandar. A very good evening once again. A year has just flown by. I remember some past presidents telling me last year that ek bar shuru ho jayega, then it'll go very, very smoothly, and now I can understand why. I think last year on 6th of July, I was here giving my acceptance speech, and now I'm here giving my thank you speech. But before that thank you speech, on behalf of my office bearers and managing committee, we feel it is right for us to give our report card before we give our thank you card. And which is where I think we would like to dwell upon what we have done in the year collectively as a group before we actually go into acknowledgements. All of us know that we started the 76th year on the backdrop of a very, very successful, eventful and momentous 75th year. All our energies in the 75th year were focused to make sure that we have that year as a memorable year. And our energies and intensities were rightly so dedicated to making sure that we are able to achieve and max out the 75th year. Then entered the 76th year. And that is where, in a way, we felt that we are blessed that we didn't have that kind of persuasive push to make sure that our efforts only yield results in that year. We could then, on a slightly blue sky whiteboard, think of avenues which are more systemic, sow seeds which can give us results over the next few years, and make sure that we consolidate what we have achieved in the 75 years. And with that liberty, on the back of a successful 75th year, the first day of our new year, we did a membership survey. So we sent out a membership survey asking questions to our 10,000 members, 10,500 members back then, that what is it that you expect from BCS? And what is it that we should do differently? We got about 950 responses. And that document was our guiding force throughout the year. We went comment by comment at the OB meeting through all these pointers, comments, feedbacks, also discussed at the managing committee, and the journal specific comments we also discussed in the journal committee. But the jewels of wisdom and the feedback that we got in that survey was something that made sure that we had to look at it differently. And the second thing that guided us during the year was our 5-year plan. Many of us would recollect that we moved away from annual plans, and last year we implemented a 5-year plan. And this was the second year of that 5-year plan. And the pillars under that 5-year plan are also something that we continued in this current year. Between the 5 of us and now Mrinal as well, we had alignment on 3 broad principles. We had very diverse, if you see, not just in age, but also in terms of the practice areas that we do. We have direct tax, indirect tax, accounting and auditing, corporate law. We have people staying in western suburbs, central suburbs, South Bombay. We have age right from 30s to 60s. So we have that diversity. But we had a theme of 3 things that was consistent among all of us. One was that we want to grow. I think somewhere we felt that the growth mindset which should be there in an organization, we need to rekindle that. We were having challenges in terms of some of our membership, in some of our events, and we wanted to make sure that we imbibe the growth mindset in the organization to bring back the vibrancy, the vitality to what BCS deserves. And there was complete alignment on that. Second thing which we had complete alignment was embrace technology. Zubin Bhai, on the first day of the beginning of the year, opened his LinkedIn account. And now you see him gliding his way through, liking posts, commenting on people. And that has been the spirit that we have to embrace technology. If at all we want to go forward, continue for the next 75 years, it can only be with technology. And I think there was complete alignment on that fact. And the third one was preserve and strengthen our core values, our core ethics, and what we are BCS as known for. And we didn't want to divert from that, and we wanted to have uncompromising ability to continue those ethics that BCS is known for. And which is where, with these three themes, with the survey that the membership gave us and our 5-year plan, we took steps, which is what is something that we want to showcase it to you today. There's a small PPT if you can broadcast. So these are the 5 pillars of our 6 pillars of our 5-year plan. The first thing, what we really wanted is to focus on reach. At BCS, I think we were fairly comfortable with the depth of what we do because of the committees, because of the past precedents, because of the domain knowledge that we have. But we felt that that depth needs to also have breadth and hence increase the reach of BCS. And the first thing that we started doing during the year is to have focused PR initiatives. Now, as chartered accountants, we have some blind spot when it comes to PR, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding. Selling is a complete no, but marketing is different from selling, branding is different from marketing, and PR is different from branding. We took assistance from a professional agency in terms of helping the BCS brand reach ahead. And that is where the agency was coming in November, and over the next 6 months from November, we had a PR drive which we undertook. So we had done about 150 newspaper, digital media insertions over the 6 months, which is on an average about 1 a day. The office bearers, especially Kinjal, knows that when a journalist asks you for a comment, you just get 2 hours. And it has to be a topic which is live, which is recent. And as BCS, we would not comment on something where we don't feel appropriate. So with all these filters, along with the responsibility that she has, a lot of the queries were direct tax, personal finance and related, which Kinjal took over on her. But we could do 150 insertions in newspapers, digital journals, etc. across this year, including leading like ET Now, Swadesh, interviews, podcast. This is some of the summaries that we did, the budget that was there, the income tax bill that came. This is something that gave reach and noise and vibrancy to what we wanted at BCS. The second thing was our social media platform. Now within us, the realization is very clear that the committees work on content and we work on connect. Content is best done by committees, and we need to make sure that that content goes to our membership and to our community. And that is where social media was a bridge which we could not ignore. Our approach earlier was to announce events on social media. So we used to post it and hope that the members read it, and that is where that was an announce kind of a feature. We moved from announce to engage, which is where now you'll see that if anyone tags BCS, there would be a response from BCS handle to say that, thank you for attending this event. You have polls, you have podcast, all of that being broadcasted on our social media handles. As we speak today, this is now a very, very important IP for BCS that we have 70,000 members on our social media handles. And one event you put up, you have the ability that it reaches to 70,000 people across our social media handles. And we have seen this play during the year where we have not had challenges of filling enrollments in any of the events. In fact, seniors used to tell us that during RRC, Residential Refresher Course, there used to be a queue outside BCS offices. And people used to wait for hours to get that particular enrollment at a BCS RRC. History repeated this year when we had to close registrations to the RRC at least 2 months before the date of RRC. Similar was the feedback in GST RRC, where we had to stop registrations ahead of time. So was the case in the AIF. So was the case in Redevelopment 360. So was the case in Canva. So was the case in CAthon. And so was the case in the recent movie which we did of Well Done CS Hub. We were struggling that can we have a movie in BCS, and Mihir Bhai and me felt that we should book 50 tickets and do a screening at BCS Hall because that is where we felt that we'll comfortably get a number. And we said, "Nay, we have a good social media handle, we have reach strength, let's commit to 100. We committed to 100. It just went up and we had to then go to 150. We had to book a cinema hall finally to accommodate the 250 people that we got registrations. And we had to stop registrations at 250. So what we now have is a pipe of this social media which is growing day by day. Like in this last 1 year, we added 15,000 new subscribers to just in 1 year. And those people are getting the taste of BCS and its events. And those are the pipeline for our events. Our YouTube channel, friends, now has 825 videos. And this year, we clocked 1 million views overall in terms of the BCS YouTube channel. Happy to tell you that we have started monetizing our YouTube channel. Very difficult in the BCS ecosystem to try and have that thought that our content can be monetized. But when we got a check of $21.04 from YouTube, that is where we realized the power of the content that we have. We don't want to make profits. We don't want to make surplus. But if we are able to deploy this corpus from content into our objects, we'll not be shy of that. So YouTube is recognizing us as a contributor now, and the monetization has started in YouTube as well. The third initiative in Reach is the Sherpa initiative. We had spoken the last time that geographical reach, there's a thought process that we may not need chapters, we may not need physical branches, but we have committed members in every city who are our flag bearers. BCS membership is in 350 cities and towns in India. How can we leverage that rather than building brick and mortar infrastructure in the current day and age? And the Sherpas are the strength of BCS. The Sherpa platform now, we have gone ahead and hosted events in Hyderabad, for example, where we had 150 people coming, organized by the Hyderabad Sherpa, where Jagdish Bhai and Mandar went from here as faculties, but essentially the entire event was done by the Hyderabad Sherpa with no involvement by any of the committees. Or we did town hall in Kolkata or Coimbatore, where essentially a past president going to that geography, we could tell the Sherpa to collect 30-40 BCS members and then make sure that we are able to exchange thoughts. Narayan Bhai has been ably leading that initiative for us, and now we have Jaipur, which we are lined up for the Sherpa initiative, and we feel that Sherpa has potential to increase the reach of BCS beyond Bombay. A fact is that now 50% of our members are outside Bombay. And that is something that we'll need to give them. The membership survey gave us those insights that these are people who are attached to BCS, but they need something more, they need something different, and that is where some of these initiatives started coming in. Digital journal membership. Now Reach, I think the journal is the single most important contribution that our society has to our community. And we are creating this content which can really be scaled up beyond our current reach that we have. And one of the feedback was that, why don't we have a digital journal, a flipbook version, which is searchable, which is storable, and we could also have it kept in my repository if I don't want to read a physical one. And that is where we have now introduced digital membership, which will be restricted and a part of BCS Academy. I'll show you a demo once we have the chief guest. We are launching it today. But in BCS Academy, now we have a digital journal membership, which can easily help go beyond, and you'll not have to worry about when the courier is coming and where the post is coming. On the first, you'll have it in your iPad where you can just read and store as you want. Technology now permits us to do that. The last, there are many, but in the reach, the last category is WhatsApp. Now today messaging has gone, emails have gone, you need real-time communication, and WhatsApp is the way. Our WhatsApp channel now has 2,000 subscribers, and we have a WhatsApp bot where you put in a number, what are the next events, it will give you 5 next events of BCS, you can register from there and essentially get that confirmation on your WhatsApp only in terms of ease of registering for BCS events. Flipkart. Now again, sowing seeds of what can happen in future. We have about 40 publications live of BCS that we are selling. But we didn't have ISBN numbers. Now ISBN number is what gives you to some extent copyright protection, and it's also must if you want to sell it through organized channels. So we took ISBN numbers for all 40 publications of BCS, and now they're available on flipkart.com to purchase. So when we got that first order from Borivali of someone in Flipkart wanting to buy a BCS publication, we were so happy to say that, okay, someone from Flipkart is now buying our publication. We are now on track to empanel with Amazon, but the idea is that we leverage our content with these particular connect initiatives which we are doing over here. Similarly, YouTube I spoke about, but YouTube is a big platform that we can scale, and the content over there is really, really helping us. While we talk about breadth, we don't want to compromise on the depth, which is the professional development of what we do. And during the year, we had innovative topics, innovative way of dealing with things. The committees have taken the lead in that. But as the office bearers or managing committee, the only thing that we contribute in content is the lecture meetings, where essentially, we conducted about 12 lecture meetings during the year. Again, the pipe of social media at play. Every single lecture meeting, we had registrations upwards of 500. I was there as the office bearer for the last 5 years. The average registration over the last 5 years has been about 150. And now we have every lecture meeting having an average registration of 500. What we have been now doing is that post the lecture meeting, broadcast that content on YouTube through broadcast, and the cumulative views of these 12 lecture meetings has crossed 30,000 views. Our YouTube channel, if you go and see the most popular videos, it will list down top 10 popular videos from the 800 repository that we have. Each of these top 10 videos were videos which are at least 8 years old. In this year, 3 videos could go into the top 10. Having hits of 25,000, 17,000 and 9,000, for the first time for the last 8 years, we have 3 videos going into the YouTube top 10. 2 thanks to Pinakin Bai's budget, and 1 because of a fireside chat on capital markets that we had. But it's just a case in point that the more our social media connect is going out, the more we are able to reach people, and after creating content as well, there is an ability to monetize that content that it reaches more and a larger audience. Digital certifications. Now, BCS certifications are something that are a prized possession. We have certificate courses, and this digital certification gives you authenticated blockchain-backed BCS certificate, where if you verify, you can see on BCS website whether BCS has issued the certificate or not, and what is the date that it has issued. And if it expires, it will automatically expire for all. It is shareable on your LinkedIn profiles as well. So we issued about 1,200 BCS certificates this year, and that is something that we want to also integrate in our BCS Academy, where digital certificates will be given to the course participants. Podcast and broadcast were the 2 initiatives. Again, from a professional development perspective, broadcast is a newsletter that is now going to every member on a monthly basis. The beauty of broadcast is that it is an intelligent mailer. Like an email, I can't track what you are seeing, how much you are seeing, where you clicked, and how much time you spent. But if a broadcast email goes to you through our CRM, you'll be able to track that how much someone has seen this video, how much someone is clicking on this particular news item, and where and how much geographical spread is there of particular initiative. So that helps in terms of intelligence. Networking. We had 3 MOUs which we did this year. One was with IIM Mumbai. Again, depth is something that we want to enshrine, and a research MOU is what we executed with IIM Mumbai this year. The first research paper has already been completed on group taxation, and the second research paper on carryback of losses is something that is underway in this joint initiative. With NISM, National Institute of Securities Market, our MOU talks about capacity building in the securities market. In fact, today's initiative of SEBI chairman coming is thanks to this platform that we could leverage and have the SEBI chair over here. We have a different problem now in terms of accommodating people rather than having people come to our events. And today we are really scared in terms of whether we'll be able to accommodate people or not over here. BIA, Bombay Industries Association, again a very much ingrained Bombay institution of industries, about 2,000 members, and very parallel to us, they also completed 76 years this year. So again, a lot of commonalities, and we are doing joint industry initiatives with them. One initiative which will cut through all of this, reach, professional development and networking, is the BCS Academy. The BCS Academy is what we are launching today at the hands of Nitin Kamath, promises to take the BCS experience into the online world. We have classically been doing classroom-based collective learning, where people come and we have speakers talk, and that is how we are doing knowledge dissemination. The idea is now that all of that contemporarily can be done online, and it can be at your pace, and it can be at your ease. And BCS Academy is that thought. To drive adoption, we are adding a lot of other elements to BCS Academy, because making it is one, but driving adoption is something that will make a real difference. That is where the digital journal also becomes a part of BCS Academy. A networking platform like a LinkedIn for BCS members also becomes a part of BCS Academy. A journal chatbot, which we had done, also becomes a part of BCS Academy. And we will now have our Zooms done within BCS Academy only. So we can do lecture meetings, which are in that black box within Academy to drive that particular engagement. This is one initiative, if we do right, it can really change in terms of our reach, professional development, as well as networking. Advocacy, a lot of initiatives on advocacy. We did a research on group taxation. Regulatory interactions, very important for advocacy. We had discussions this time with the NFRA chair for the first time coming at BCS. Of course, the ICI president, vice president have been gracing every year. We had interactions with RBI, GST. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Income Tax Bill is where we could share our suggestions on SEBI chairman today, CBDT, CBEC, the UP deputy commissioner, the deputy CM who came in. All of those are with a view to spread our advocacy abilities. Viksit Bharat Roundtables was another theme that we did. Today we are also presenting an AIF white paper. When we did the AIF Conclave, one of the SEBI officials who was there, he said that why don't you all crowdsource from your AIF community certain suggestions that can enable the AIF ecosystem. And we did that, and today we are presenting it to the SEBI chairman, a AIF white paper by BCS. And a Niti Aayog collaboration is also something that is now in the works. Niti Aayog wants to work with BCS to do a specific research on a topic which can help in terms of tax policy. Within Niti Aayog, there is a consultative group which is very different, and they want to do blue sky thinking. And on one of the topics, BCS has signed a formal MOU with them to do that particular research and advocacy as well. Yuva Shakti, again, a very, very important pillar. Our membership age is coming down each year. So is the core group. So is the managing committee. BCS Next is now a platform for students. So it's of, by, and for students within the HR committee. And BCS Next has been doing boot camps, just like we oldies do study circles. They are calling it boot camps, going to different offices and doing their collective learning initiatives. Canva, felicitation, mentoring. Again, in Canva, we had to close registrations. Mentoring, this felicitation, we had to close registrations. Despite now having 3 exams and 3 felicitations, we still need to close registrations. We had to go to IMC for a larger venue to accommodate, but still we had to stop registrations. Thanks to Shri P.N. Shah's family and friends, we now have a Shri P.N. Shah CA Students Endowment Fund. And through this fund, the idea is to give financial grants to CA students who are not able to afford staying in Bombay or paying their CA fees. A significant corpus has now been given to BCS Foundation, and we are selecting students who would be beneficiaries, helping them with their CA journeys. I would like to acknowledge the family of P.N. Shah for setting this up for BCA Foundation. And Nari Shakti is completely, we can't ignore it as we talk about Yuva Shakti. For the first time in BCS membership, we have female members cross 1,000. Not something that we are proud of, but Gujarati ma kahavat hai ki na mama karta kana mama sara. Rather than not having a mama, it's better that you have someone which is handicapped. So we have that achievement, and Zubin Bhai will tell more in terms of initiatives that where we want to take that 1,000 member to much more. Because in the CA constitution, you have much more female members now. And our membership also needs to be representative of that. Charters for Change is our PSR initiative, Professional Social Responsibility, what we do through BCS Foundation. Lot of initiatives there. One important is the High School. And Mayurbai is here. This High School is a school near Umargaon. You should see the campus. It's a seaside campus. I'm sure none of us studied in Bombay or wherever would have that kind of a campus. And they give free studies to about 2,300 kids over there from the local community, and they don't charge. So it's funded through donations, and BCS has given them digital classrooms for most of the standards. The impact of that is that this year from that school, 6 students qualified for the state round, and we are measuring the impact. We have now gone on a second project with them because they have a large ground on the sea, and we are now wanting to propose a playground worth the cost of 2 crores through CSR funds that can help those schools and the kids to make sure that they are having a holistic education. But Charters for Change is something that we will continue to do through foundation, what we have been doing as a team the last year. So with all these initiatives, I wanted to put up this chart is our 10-year membership journey. We were at about 11,200 members and subscribers 10 years before in 2015-16. It was consistent, and even before that it was consistent in that range of about 11,000, 11,300. In fact, the highest that we have gone is 11,358 from the time we went into H Office, which is our digital software. What happened is that came COVID. Now there can be various reasons, but COVID was one of the key reasons. In 2020-21, if you see, that our membership dropped by 818 members. And the slide continued next year, 352 members. Slide continued next year, 24 negative members. Came Reimagine. And Reimagine has changed the perception of what we can do as BCS. And now you see the graph where we added 400 members the last year, and we have this year added 1,100 members as we talk today. We are now at our highest ever membership, and we have added highest ever members in this year. This is a net number after removing 450 members who essentially because of death or non-renewals, etc., would not want to continue. But what it explains is that this is now a stone which is snowballing, and we have momentum. We always had merits, we always had motivation, but I think now we also have the momentum to carry forward. And this team will make us proud when in the 80th year we celebrate Reimagine 2, having more than 15,000 members and more than 150,000 social media followers. Sorry, performance pressure has started. Thank yous are of course due. I just can't keep on talking about what we have done, but none of this could have happened. None of this is because of what we have done. It's a cumulative effort of so many years. If it was not for seeds that were sown in the earlier year, we couldn't have germinated and culminated to what we have done here. If it was not in Abhay Bhai's term that we thought of doing ISO, we thought of upgrading our website. If within Mihir Bhai's term we wouldn't have done a hybrid thing, we wouldn't have set in place our H Office stuff. If in Chirag Bhai's term we wouldn't have done Reimagine, we wouldn't have achieved all of this. So this is a culmination of what has happened over last many years and not something that we have done. But these gangs, we were here. We did more than 30 OB meetings in the last 1 year, every Wednesday, systemically to make sure that we meet, we communicate, and push all of these agendas. The group, the managing committee, the core group that has backed, they are the backbone behind the year, and sincere thanks to what the entire core group and the managing committees have done. The gurus, we can't forget our past presidents who have been the guiding light. One of the real differentiators for BCS where it is today is the continued affiliation and connection that past presidents have had with BCS. I have a vested interest after this meeting, but essentially, I can say without doubt that this is a difference that BCS has as compared to contemporary organizations. Of course, family. We can't forget the family. Silky is here, father, mother, Shlok. They all contributed to it. The firm. They allowed me to do this, they allowed all of us to do this, and that is where we could spend more time for our community. And last but not the least, the BCS team. And I'm calling them the Fantastics, and they are here. What you are seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. You have 22 BCS team members. We had a big change when the office manager this year decides that he doesn't want to continue. And we had Mr. Sachin who joined, team members who joined, and seamlessly moving us and taking us forward. They are the Fantastics, and thank you so much for building this year for us. At the end, I'd just like to conclude by one incident which I recently encountered. I saw a video where there was this large Indian company which is owned by a Japanese parent. It's a listed company, most of us would know, they make auto cars. And the Japanese CEO had come to India to meet the employees of the Indian subsidiary. And you have the CEO sitting over here and the employees in the town hall sitting with the CEO. And the employee starts asking a question to the CEO. And the employee asks that, Mr. XX-san, when we see as Japanese, as Indians, when we see Japanese, we have a picture in our mind that you are meticulous, you are methodical, you are hardworking, you make sure that you don't cut corners, and that is our image of Japanese. But tell me, when you as Japanese think about us as Indians, what is it that is there in your mind? What is your image of Indian? Because we are a very, very heterogeneous group. And we can come in different shape and sizes and commitment levels as well. But what is it that you have a prototype of an Indian in your mind? So he said that to me, there is one theme that cuts through every Indian. And the employee asked, what is that? So he said, ask yourself whether your last 25 years were good or your next 25 years will be good. And we can do that experiment here as well. As Indians, what do you think, our next 25 years are good or last 25 years are good? Clearly the next 25 years. Or our next 75 years are going to be good than our last 75 years, clearly the next 75 years. He said that's not the feature in Japan. When we see ourselves, we feel that our last 75 years were good and our next are not going to be so good. But consistently in every Indian, wherever I have gone, the view is that the next upcoming, the best is yet to come, is not a feature that we as Japanese feel. Today, if you apply that analogy to our profession, to some of the institutions that we deal with, can we say that it's a point to ponder? Because I have been associated with some of the senior chartered accountants in my articleship, in home, etc. And I hear stories of historical achievements which essentially we feel that we lack today. But when I am at BCS, and when I, having spent 10 years as a core group member now, comprehensively been involved, and when I see this next pipeline of talent that we have, I think I am clearly convinced that for BCS, the best is yet to come. We are still scratching the surface in terms of where we are, and I can convincingly say that what is to India is true for BCS as well. I thank you once again for giving me an opportunity to lead you.